Hi, I'm Larry Spencer, Vice President of Application Development at ScerIS. We're a software development company located near Boston, Massachusetts, specializing in business process automation. Earlier this year, an interviewer asked me a question. He said, "Do you find that it's true that Indian software developers can only do as they're told? That they lack the creativity, judgment, and problem-solving skills required to figure things out for themselves?" I laughed and said, "No, I do not find that to be true. In fact, I find the exact opposite to be true." And I shared with him several examples of the work of our virtual employee developers and QA staff. But his question has stuck with me all year as I've watched our team solve one problem after another. All of our team are great problem solvers, but today I'd like to nominate for Employee of the Year one of them who has demonstrated this problem-solving gift across an especially wide range of technology. Before I get to that, though, a little background about our application. It's fairly complex, with a typical installation at a customer site involving scores, if not hundreds, of database tables, most of them with a schema that varies depending on options the user chooses as they use the software. This leads to a technical problem when it comes time to upgrade. Because every database is different, we've typically had to do a lot of manual work to move from one version to the next, with the result that upgrades can be time-consuming and therefore costly. That's led to the business problem that some of our customers prefer to stay on their old versions of the software rather than upgrading to the latest. Now, of course, we're nice guys, so we end up supporting all of those old versions of the software, with the result that we on the development team spend time patching old versions that we would prefer to spend creating great new features for the current version. This can be a little frustrating. And we're not the only ones who are a little frustrated. Our professional services consultants, who would like to spend their time consulting with customers about interesting business problems, find themselves spending that time wrestling data from one version to the next. So it's a bad situation all around. Customers are left behind, developers are mired in the past, and consultants are frustrated and a little unfulfilled. Into this situation steps developer extraordinaire Hemant Kumar, whom I now nominate as Employee of the Year. Hemant has written a SQL Server script that is able to reach into the old versions of our software and transform the data into the format required by the new version developed by our virtual employee team. I've already mentioned that the database format is fairly complex, but that's not even the whole story. In the old versions, some of the data weren't even in the database. Some data were in proprietary format text files or .ini files, and Hemant's script is able to reach into all of these realms and bring the data into the new database, with the result that our resident SQL Server expert remarked to me that in all of his years working with SQL Server, he's never seen some of the techniques that Hemant brought to bear on this problem. Now, I want to emphasize that Hemant did all of this with very little guidance from us in the United States. It was mostly a matter of, here's this pile of data over here, we want you to wave your magic wand and turn it into a database that looks like that. Hemant dug in, communicated well when he had questions, learned what he didn't know already, and produced a good result. Most amazingly, he volunteered for all of this. Clearly, Hemant loves a challenge, and we love that about Hemant. In the 22 years that ScerIS has been in business, we have never had anything like this. Hemant has solved a business problem that has been costing us dearly for a very long time. Just as a postscript to this story, I want to mention that SQL Server isn't even Hemant's primary role on our team. He spends most of his time writing in JavaScript, AngularJS, HTML, and CSS. I could tell you many stories of his work there that are equally amazing as what he did with the SQL Server script. For example, when we needed to make the application themable, Hemant figured out how to do that and even wrote most of the color themes himself. When we needed a little CSS animation to make the application more engaging and responsive, Hemant experimented with several alternatives and worked with us to find something that has been performing very well. When we needed a way for our users to upload their data into a cloud version of our application, Hemant programmed the drag-and-drop user interface. I could go on, but you get the idea. Hemant is a developer who works far, far beyond doing as he is told. He creatively solves problems across the entire spectrum of our application, all the way from SQL Server on the back end to JavaScript and CSS on the front end. It's because of virtual employee developers like Hemant, as well as our QA and installation engineers, that another executive at ScerIS recently remarked to me, "I would put our development team up against any software development team anywhere." And I had to agree. Hemant, we thank you. You are a winner.